Hello, I hope y'all are having a great day. It's February 21st, and today I'm back with another video course. So today I'm going to be talking about really our ongoing blizzard in North Dakota and Minnesota, and I'm also going to be talking about for the majority of the video I'm going to be talking about today and tomorrow's severe weather threat, or I guess tonight and tomorrow's severe weather threat. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Uh. We can currently see that we have blizzard warnings out for a little bit of southeast North Dakota and a small portion of western Minnesota there. A much more wide swath of winter storm warnings, though. Um, and we can see currently in areas like Fargo, we have some pretty moderate snow ongoing right now. A little bit of a heavier band right to the north of town there, but pretty interesting. We have I think this report's new. Or relatively new at least. You have 4 inches over there in Jamestown, North Dakota. There, in southern North Dakota, we have like 10, maybe almost a foot in some areas. So yeah, and also this snow is blowing. We take a look at our current temperatures. All my place files are gone. That is okay. I just spent like 20 minutes organizing my place files. I had like 15 of them. Now they're all gone. Lovely. Well, I'm gonna go back and fix that after the video. Sorry about that, but we do have some very gusty winds currently and very cold temperatures. I think Fargo's around 0 right now, and Grand Forks is around -10, so very cold. Um, and yeah, so we have red flag warnings going on or issued in areas of New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Southwest Kansas, and Southeast Colorado. The West is active as well. We can see in these light blue colors here, those are freeze watches. And we do have some wind advisories as well in Southern California, areas in Nevada, and areas in northern Arizona. We also have 2 areas of flash flood warnings, or not flash flood warnings, flood watches, my bad. Uh, we can see we have this kind of big area going from Arkansas all the way up into, Ohio, West Virginia there. We have another one up in New York and Vermont. So pretty active. This week is going to be a pretty active week. Uh, So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the severe weather threat though. So we can see with our day one outlook, we do have a slight risk that goes from areas of Texas all the way up into southern Illinois. And 5% toward that, 15 wind, and a 15 hail. Uh, and we're gonna be talking about that first, and then with day two, we do have a slight risk from areas in Mississippi all the way up into southern Illinois. 5% total risks, a 15 wind and a 5 hail. And then on day three, we have no severe weather expected, just a general thunderstorm risk. Let's go ahead and begin kind of looking at models here for today until 12Z in the morning, and then I did make an outlook for tomorrow, uh, which is I'll just talk about that when I get to that point. But let's go ahead and start looking at today. So let's go to this evening. We can see not a whole lot of activity going on in Texas or Oklahoma. Nothing that looks too organized. We take a look at a sounding like in northern Texas, and like definitely very steep lapses, but do still have some good. We do still have a lot of capping, uh, and yeah, we also and then by this is after dark now. This would be 8 p.m. We do finally have some storms initiating on the latest HRRR run there in northern Texas. I think that's by Wichita Falls, maybe. Take a sounding kind of in front of this. And, this kind of shows us a lot about what's going on. So, we can see we have a decent bit of instability here, but other things like, we have a pretty significant cap, which could limit it. Shear doesn't. It's not definitely not the best I've ever seen. It's definitely not good either, but Hodo looks okay. I mean, definitely there is going to be a little bit of a slight tornado threat with that, but it definitely doesn't look too good, and the capping could be a problem as well. Uh, I do think tonight, somewhere along the Red River here could get some very large hail. I think we're going to be seeing some hailers tonight. Let's take a sounding in kind of this area again. Okay, that is contaminated. Let me try and get another one here. That is also contaminated. Trying to try to the south of the storm here. Why? Okay, I don't know why these are all contaminated. I think I'm way out in front of it. Okay, this is a little contaminated, but we're still gonna use it. Uh, Now we do have I mean, that cap, that inversion right there might be a problem. I mean, very capped. Uh, Hodo looks okay, but I just don't know about the tornado threat. Very conditional tornado threat tonight in that area. I don't know if we're gonna see any action really. Uh, go ahead. This is getting into kind of tomorrow morning at this point. I mean, this is a couple hours before set. Like, this is 2 a.m. So this is 2 a.m. That's Central Time, by the way. Got a lot of activity in Oklahoma, Arkansas here. Take a sounding in Western Arkansas. Uh, we can see not really impressive, uh, but and we also have winds backing at about 700. So that could be we'll have to see what that can do. I mean, definitely. I mean, also the HRRR does not show any really organized storms. It's kind of a mess right there. Uh, and yeah, so this kind of takes us into tomorrow now. Tomorrow's risk. So let me get the uh, kind of outlook I made here. Now there is a few things we need to kind of before I even talk about this. I definitely the reason I made this outlook is not because like I want to actually. I mean, I'm just using it so I can just make my forecasting skills maybe a little bit better and kind of see what I can improve on. Because there's a lot on making an outlook. Because I haven't even made an outlook in. I think the last time I made an outlook for YouTube is probably would have been October 2020. So it's been a while. But still, definitely the SPC is definitely the way to go. The only reason I made this is just so I can kind of see. Because this is kind of what I'm going to talk about during the video in the first place. Like point out like where I think we could see the greatest tornado potential. Uh, Also, I did make this a couple of hours ago. I made this using the 12Z the 12Z runs of the HRRR and other models. So I mean, there is some kind of slight changes I would make to this, but this is really what I was thinking a couple hours ago. But still pretty similar. So I had a slight risk for it from like southern Illinois down into areas of central Mississippi. Not too different from the SPC. I'm not even gonna like talk about. Oh, I'll talk about one difference is how far I have my marginal north. Uh, we're gonna be. I kind of have it like up closer to our low. I do feel like we could see a little bit of a marginal severe weather threat across central Illinois. I mean, it doesn't look to be significant. It's conditional as well, so we'll have to see if it does anything. And the other thing I'm just going to talk about with this is my greatest tornado threats that I kind of have outlined here. So I have this area along a boundary in southern Illinois, areas of Missouri and western Kentucky, and I also have a secondary area further to the south of Mississippi, Alabama, and southern Tennessee, and we're going to talk about those. I just want to see how this actually turns out, and we'll see that how it actually turns out. I mean, I guess either tomorrow or Tuesday, or tomorrow or Wednesday. My bad. Uh, so yeah, now this is 8C in the morning. We can see we have not a whole lot going on. Let's go ahead and go to 10Z. And we're going to go back to the 18Z run of the GFS now. See, the HRRR indicates a pretty interesting squall line there. Let's just take a few soundings. I mean, okay, that Hodo is curved. I mean, I'll say that. Thermodynamics, I mean, definitely don't look that supportive of anything like tornado wise, but the shear is there. Let's go back into Oklahoma. That's contaminated, and that looks to be. That's kind of weird. Okay, that's okay. Thermodynamics don't really look that great with that sounding, but I mean maybe some kind of tornado threat tomorrow morning in this area. Definitely. And now this is 10Z, so this is still technically our day one outlook because it goes until 12Z. So I mean we're still on that day one outlook, but let's go ahead a few hours. We'll go to 7 a.m. now. We can see we have that squall line still moving through areas of Missouri and Illinois. Don't really want to pay attention to reflectivity though. We just want to take a lot of soundings. Take one in Kentucky here. This really just screams kind of gusty winds and yeah, I mean, definitely does not look like a tornado sounding. We can see we do have maybe a little bit of a marginal severe weather threat in Illinois. It doesn't really look as good as it did earlier when I made that outlook. But I don't really know what I'd do with that marginal. I might just, I don't know. I don't really know what I'd do with that. But yeah, let's take a sounding in northern Arkansas here. That's contaminated. I don't think we're gonna get a sounding that's not contaminated here. No, we're not. Okay. Uh, let's go towards the afternoon though. So when we see kind of, I mean, by 16Z, this is getting late morning now. Instability wise, we're looking at, I mean, pretty marginal instability. We have a boundary right here though. And that's where I also have my first kind of tornado risk, my first kind of tornado threat. I have it on that kind of along that boundary because I can enhance tornado potential a little bit. I mean, we can take a few soundings along it. And okay, that's contaminated. It's one reason I normally just use reflectivity to take soundings is because the chance of you getting a contaminated one's a lot less. But what we can do is we can just outline our boundary there and then just switch back to reflectivity. Gotta scroll down though, that's where it was, alright. And yeah, we can see maybe some storms. Let's just take a look here. And I mean, yeah, that definitely looks okay for a little bit of a tornado threat. Thermodynamics are definitely a little bit better, which is kind of why I have that secondary tornado threat along that boundary. Which, I mean, now with the latest HRRR, it seems like it might have shifted a bit south. So it's something to note. By 18, see, this is good. I think this is noon. Still have that squall line diving through Kentucky there. Still definitely a gusty wind threat. So with that, yeah. I also have a marginal risk all the way in the southern Ohio, just for damaging winds. So yeah, and at 18Z doesn't. Let's see what we have going on here. Let's take a look at Cape. Still have that boundary right here, and this area right here looks interesting. Oh yeah, those thermodynamics are just loaded there. Okay, very. That's probably. I mean, that's a good bit of Cape there, for Missouri, and I mean this time of year. Shear is okay. I mean, the Hodo definitely doesn't look the best, but definitely, I think there'd be a small tornado threat with that. Take a sounding a little bit further to the east, and that Hodo is a bit more curved. Thermodynamics are still good, still a tornado threat along that boundary. And we're also going to have another tornado threat's going to be this area, I think, and the SPC. Well, thinks that too, so it's not just me. I don't know why I said that, but yeah, we can see definitely decent shear, decent thermodynamics. I mean, there will definitely be a tornado threat. Both of these areas tomorrow. At this time, the HRRR has no convection going on. Really, that kind of stands out, but we're still going to want to watch that area, considering the environment is supportive of stuff. By 20Z, though, we're well into the afternoon now. Southeast Missouri. I mean, the shear is okay. Thermodynamics are still excellent. So, I mean, definitely I'd say a decent tornado threat. Uh, so yeah, even in the southern Illinois, I mean, I'd say that greatest tornado threat risk right there still looks like it verifies pretty well with the 18Z HRRR. Uh, we don't really the HRRR has backed off our supercells a little bit. I mean, we can see they don't really. I mean, of course, it's the HRRR though; it just prints supercells anyway. Uh, but we can still see that the thermodynamics are good. The shear is okay. Uh, I mean, definitely still, I would still expect a little tornado threat there, or not a little tornado threat, a tornado threat. 5% risk, which is what I would have if I made a tornado, if I made a tornado outlook, or a tornado, if I actually did a tornado threat, but I didn't. That's what I would put there. That's what the SPC already has there. So yeah, they generally agree with I generally agree with their 5%. So I don't even remember if I never even realized that until now. Okay, I made this outlook at about like 12:30. Uh, kind of right when the SPC came out with that. Uh, and we can see. Take a sounding in Arkansas. I mean, definitely doesn't look as good, but I mean, still a little bit of a severe weather threat, maybe. If there is one thing I could do, I might move the marginal risk a little bit further east, maybe. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, and then we go later into the night. We go to right after dark here, 7 p.m. We still have some storms going on in Alabama here. Uh, definitely still a little bit of tornado threat. Thermodynamics aren't that great considering we're after dark now, probably. Or not probably, we're after dark, so that's probably why we're starting to lose instability. And yeah, just go ahead, skip ahead several hours. We can see by overnight, this is around midnight, we just have a large line of kind of showers here and some thunder, a large line of thunderstorms. A severe threat will have likely gone down by now, as well as a tornado threat, but we're still going to want to pay attention to it. And definitely still a damaging wind threat and some hail, smaller hail this time probably. So yeah, that's the severe weather side of things. Let's go ahead and move on now. Let's take a look at I want to briefly talk about our second storm system because this week we're going to be looking at another storm system after this one. So we can see, while this one's just moving out, we see Wednesday evening we have another storm system ejecting into the plains. We have some freezing rain and sleet from Texas up into areas of Missouri and southern Illinois. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe get some ice storm warnings in this area here of western Kentucky, areas of Missouri, Illinois. And then it moves into the northeast, which the GFS has a good bit of snow maybe falling in some areas in New York, like Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, but then and then those areas switch over to rain or freezing rain. I mean, some areas may not even get rain, just some freezing rain and sleet. But some areas will switch over to showers. But I mean, maybe bring in a good couple inches. I mean, to a good couple of inches, maybe even closer to a. Let's just see what the Kuchera has here, or not the Kuchera. Let's see what the GFS has for total snowfall with that storm system in the northeast. So yeah, we can see it indicates that storm system bringing maybe a foot to some areas. We'll have to see, and also maybe like a good several inches in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. So yeah, we're gonna have to see what actually happens with this. We still have a decent bit of snow falling in Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP, and Michigan. So we could be seeing some pretty decent amounts as well, and even into northern Maine, could be seeing maybe like a foot at the tip of northern Maine. So pretty interesting. We go ahead and take a look at the Euro. Total snowfall, which keep in mind this is going to likely underdo any snow in this area due to the cold temperatures and the really extremely high snow ratios. We can see a good couple of inches in northern Maine, not a foot though, like the GFS. Euro also goes a lot lower with the snowfall totals. With this next storm system, we can see we only have like a couple of inches in areas of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, into the northeast, where we maybe see like approaching a foot in some areas. I mean, I definitely say though this weekend though looks like we could maybe be seeing a pretty decent snowfall across, or not this weekend, later this week looks like we could be seeing a pretty decent snowfall across like that area there. Uh, I mean, even areas outside that could be seeing a good bit of snow potentially. That area just has like the best confidence, uh, or really just like this area here. Uh, so yeah, that'll pretty much wrap up the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. And yes, thank you for watching. Hope y'all have a great Tuesday, and goodbye.